Before submarines became the formidable symbols of stealth and nuclear power we know today, their genesis was far humbler, a collection of fragile, audacious experiments. These were not the sleek, metallic predators of modern seas, but rather daring concepts, first scribbled as revolutionary ideas on parchment, then brought to life and tentatively tested in the muddy currents of rivers.
It was in the bustling 17th century that a pioneering Dutch inventor, Cornelis Drebble, dared to push the boundaries of naval engineering. He painstakingly constructed a rudimentary wooden vessel, ingeniously covered in greased leather for waterproofing, propelled beneath the surface by the strenuous efforts of brave oarsmen. This curious craft achieved a remarkable feat, managing to submerge several meters beneath the historic waters of the River Thames. While it might have been perceived as little more than a captivating stunt at the time, Drebble's audacious dive undeniably planted the crucial seed of underwater exploration in the minds of innovators. Fast forward to the turbulent year of 1775, amidst the burgeoning conflict of the American Revolutionary War. A brilliant American patriot, David Bushnell, conceived and designed a truly revolutionary machine, the Turtle. This unique one-man submersible, crafted ingeniously in the shape of a colossal barrel, represented a radical new strategy. Its ambitious goal was to surreptitiously approach unsuspecting British warships anchored confidently on the surface and discreetly attached timed explosives to their hulls. Though the audacious attempt ultimately failed to achieve its objective, the very concept sent shockwaves through the established naval strategists of the era. A terrifying realization dawned: even the mighty ships of the line might no longer be safe while resting peacefully at anchor. Decades later, the crucible of the American Civil War brought another desperate yet significant leap in submarine warfare. The Confederate submarine, the CSS Hunley, a marvel of human-powered ingenuity propelled by a laborious hand-crank mechanism, embarked on a perilous mission. In February of 1864, it successfully attacked and tragically sank the Union blockade ship, the USS Housatonic. This harrowing engagement marked a grim, historic milestone, the very first successful combat strike by a submarine in naval history. Yet, this groundbreaking victory came at an incredibly steep and tragic cost. The Hunley, along with its brave, dedicated crew, never resurfaced from the depths, vanishing into the cold embrace of the Atlantic Ocean. These early prototypes, though slow, undeniably fragile, and often proving deadly to their own pioneering operators, nonetheless etched an undeniable truth into the annals of warfare. They proved, beyond any doubt, that the silent, mysterious ocean depths could indeed transform into a clandestine and perilous battlefield. The submarine, in all its crude and dangerous forms, had taken its first, unsteady, but utterly transformative steps into the complex and ever-evolving theater of naval warfare. The dawn of the 20th century transformed the very concept of underwater vessels. Once mere curiosities, often viewed as experimental oddities, submarines rapidly evolved into formidable, recognized weapons of war. European navies, sensing a profound shift in maritime power, began to invest serious resources into their development. France, a pioneer in the field, proudly launched the Gymnote in 1888, a marvel of engineering and one of the world's first fully electric submarines, heralding a new era. Nations like Britain and Russia swiftly followed suit, testing various designs with a mix of successes and frustrating failures, each iteration refining the nascent technology. However, it was Germany, with an urgent strategic vision, that truly pushed the technological limits. Their Unterseeboot, soon to be notoriously known as the U-boat, would irrevocably alter the course of naval warfare forever. As the grim shadow of World War I fell across the globe, these stealthy predators began to patrol the vast, perilous expanse of the Atlantic Ocean. With chilling efficiency, they struck at unsuspecting merchant convoys and powerful warships alike, introducing a terrifying new dimension to maritime combat. Life aboard these early U-boats was a harrowing ordeal for the submarine crewmen, slow, claustrophobically cramped, and inherently dangerous.
Yet their strategic impact was undeniably enormous. These underwater hunters, often operating in deadly wolf packs, relentlessly cut vital supply lines, crippling the enemy's logistical backbone.
This unprecedented threat forced nations to frantically rethink established naval strategies. The Allied powers, caught largely unprepared for this unseen menace, had to innovate rapidly. Countermeasures such as organizing ships into protected convoys, developing explosive depth charges, and the revolutionary introduction of sonar and depth charges technology were all urgently developed in direct response to the pervasive and destructive U-boat threat. Countermeasures such as organizing ships into protected convoys, developing explosive depth charges, and the revolutionary introduction of sonar and depth charges technology were all urgently developed in direct response to the pervasive and destructive U-boat threat. By 1918, as the war neared its brutal end, submarines had conclusively proven their unparalleled ability to achieve what centuries of traditional fleets could not: bring great empires to their knees without ever engaging in a conventional surface-level sea battle. The message resonated across the world's oceans with chilling clarity. Submarines were no longer mere experimental curiosities. They had ascended to the undeniable status of strategic weapons, forever etching their presence into the annals of global conflict, setting the stage for even more devastating roles in World War II. While World War I offered a glimpse into the strategic potential of submarines, it was the Second World War that unequivocally proved their power to dictate the fate of entire oceans. Germany, learning from its past, escalated its naval strategy, unleashing more advanced U-boats, faster, deadlier, and operating in fearsome wolf packs. These formidable groups of U-boats relentlessly hunted Allied convoys, turning the vast Atlantic Ocean into a deadly battleground. The desperate struggle, known as the Battle of the Atlantic, became a grueling war of attrition, where Allied merchant ships, vital lifelines, faced the relentless stealth of German submarines. At their most potent, these wolf packs pushed Britain to the brink, nearly starving the island nation into surrender. But innovation countered aggression. Allied ingenuity fought back with groundbreaking technology. The piercing eyes of radar scanned the waves. The ears of sonar listened to the depths. And improved sonar and depth charges became increasingly lethal. Long-range patrol aircraft, soaring above the convoys, offered vital aerial reconnaissance and strike capabilities. Slowly, the tide began to turn. By 1943, the hunters had become the hunted. As the relentless pressure from Allied forces inflicted catastrophic losses upon the German U-boat fleet. A somber statistic reveals the true cost. Over 70% of their courageous submarine crewmen never returned from their perilous patrols beneath the waves. Across the globe, in the vast Pacific Ocean, the United States employed its submarines with a different, equally devastating strategy. Instead of direct convoy warfare, American subs focused on crippling Japan's vital economic infrastructure. They methodically sank merchant ships, choked supply lines, and even targeted powerful warships and majestic aircraft carriers. This relentless campaign effectively strangled Japan's war economy. By the war's conclusion in 1945, U.S. submarines had destroyed an astounding more than half of Japan's entire merchant fleet, achieving this devastating impact at a remarkably low cost, a mere 2% of the U.S. Navy's total manpower. Meanwhile, the Imperial Japanese Navy also deployed its own submarines, some of which were astonishingly massive, even capable of launching aircraft. However, their overall strategic impact remained limited when compared to the concentrated, decisive efforts of the German and American submarine campaigns. World War II, therefore, cemented the submarine's place as far more than a mere support weapon. It emerged as a central, indispensable player in global warfare.
Silent, ruthless, and possessing an unparalleled ability to influence the outcome of vast conflicts, the diesel-electric submarine had truly come into its own. The aftermath of World War II ushered in a transformative period for naval warfare, propelling submarine engineering into an exciting new era. Emerging as the paramount design, the diesel-electric submarine began to redefine underwater stealth and power.
Understanding its ingenious mechanics, on the surface, these leviathans utilized powerful diesel engines, not only to propel the vessel across the waves, but also to diligently recharge its vital bank of batteries.
Yet the true magic unfolded beneath the waves. Once submerged, the throbbing diesel engines fell silent, and the submarine transitioned, gliding stealthily through the dark abyss, powered solely by the quiet hum of electric motors.
This silent predator, however, was not without its Achilles heel. Its operational time beneath the waves was a finite resource dictated by battery life. Once depleted, the submarine was compelled to rise to the surface or deploy a snorkel mast, a perilous act that unfortunately revealed its presence to vigilant enemy sensors, making it vulnerable to detection. Despite these inherent limitations, this design possessed formidable advantages.
Diesel-electric submarines were significantly more cost-effective to construct compared to their nuclear counterparts. Furthermore, under specific operational conditions, they could achieve an unparalleled level of acoustic stealth, rendering them incredibly difficult to track. This made them perfectly suited for vital coastal defense operations or for launching devastating ambush tactics in the treacherous, shallow waters of the continental shelf.
The Soviet Union, recognizing their strategic value, embarked on an ambitious program of mass production, sending vast fleets of iconic Whiskey and Foxtrot-class submarines to patrol the world's oceans.
Meanwhile, across the geopolitical divide, NATO navies were diligently refining their own countermeasures. Their designs focused on advanced anti-submarine warfare training and conducting crucial patrol duties, honing their skills against this silent threat. Even with the groundbreaking arrival of nuclear-powered submarines, the era of diesel-electric technology was far from over.
Diesel-electric submarines did not simply disappear. Instead, they underwent a profound evolution. Modern variants emerged, equipped with sophisticated air-independent propulsion, or AIP, systems. This revolutionary technology allowed them to remain submerged for vastly extended periods without the need to surface, transforming them into exceptionally lethal instruments, particularly in the strategically vital, confined waters of littoral combat. Thus, the diesel-electric submarine stands as a compelling paradox, an older technology continually reinvented and refined, yet still profoundly relevant and a critical component in the complex naval strategies of today. The naval world stood on the precipice of an unprecedented transformation, a revolution that would redefine the very essence of underwater warfare. It was 1954 when the United States unveiled a marvel of engineering, the USS Nautilus. This was no ordinary vessel. It was the world's first nuclear-powered submarine, a true game-changer that shattered all previous limitations. Gone were the days when diesel-electric submarines were tethered to the surface, forced to rise for precious oxygen to run their engines. The Nautilus, with its revolutionary nuclear reactor, carried its power source within. This incredible technology generated energy for years, not just for propulsion, but also to sustain the crew's life support systems and operate advanced cutting-edge sensors. Suddenly, submarines were liberated from the shackles of endurance. Their only true limit became the finite supply of food and provisions for their dedicated crewmen. For the superpowers locked in the tense embrace of the Cold War, the United States and the Soviet Union, this was nothing short of the ultimate weapon. Nuclear submarines possessed an unparalleled ability to traverse vast global oceans with absolute discretion, traveling undetected for months on end. They could silently patrol beneath the formidable, crushing ice of the Arctic, remaining submerged, unseen and unheard, almost indefinitely. The concept of stealth had reached its zenith, becoming an absolute and terrifying reality.
But nuclear propulsion was far more than just raw power. It fundamentally reshaped naval strategy itself. These new titans of the deep could carry an arsenal of advanced weapons, moving at astonishing speeds underwater, often faster than vessels on the surface. They were engineered to outmaneuver and outlast any conventional pursuit.
This technological leap spurred the creation of entire new classes of submarines, agile attack submarines designed for aggressive hunting missions, and formidable missile submarines, silent sentinels of nuclear deterrence, ensuring a delicate but terrifying global balance of power.
Of course, such immense power came with inherent risks. The early years saw the somber reality of nuclear accidents. Both the US and the USSR tragically lost these complex vessels and their brave crewmen to the unforgiving depths of the sea.
The colossal cost of their construction and ongoing maintenance skyrocketed. Only a handful of nations could afford them. Despite these challenges and immense costs, the nuclear-powered submarine solidified its place. It became the undisputed backbone of modern navies across the globe, a testament to human ingenuity. It seamlessly blended unparalleled endurance, impenetrable stealth, and devastating firepower into a single, awe-inspiring machine, unlike any other weapon in military history. This era truly marked the rise of the ballistic missile submarines, silent guardians reshaping geopolitical landscapes.
While nuclear propulsion utterly redefined how submarines could traverse the vast, dark oceans, it was the integration of ballistic missiles that fundamentally reshaped their very purpose. We now enter the chilling domain of the SSBN, submarine, ship, ballistic, nuclear, a term that encapsulates its formidable role.
These are not merely vessels. They are mobile, clandestine nuclear launch platforms, continuously lurking deep beneath the waves, unseen and unheard. The year 1960 marked a pivotal moment with the commissioning of the USS George Washington, the pioneering SSBN, discreetly carrying its deadly payload of Polaris missiles. Not long after, the Soviet Union countered with its own powerful vessels, including the formidable Gulf, then later the more advanced Delta and the truly colossal Typhoon classes. Other major powers like France, the United Kingdom, and eventually China swiftly followed suit, recognizing the game-changing implications. The strategic concept behind these silent giants was terrifyingly effective. An SSBN could vanish for months on end, an elusive phantom armed with enough nuclear firepower to devastate cities thousands of kilometers away. Should an adversary ever contemplate a devastating first strike against a nation's land-based nuclear arsenal, the hidden SSBN fleet guaranteed an inescapable, devastating retaliation. This ultimate threat solidified the backbone of nuclear deterrence, famously known as the second strike capability, a grim promise of mutual destruction that ironically kept an uneasy peace.
Among these behemoths, none stood as large or as awe-inspiring as the Soviet Typhoon-class. Displacing an incredible nearly 50,000 tons, these leviathans were so massive they required multiple nuclear reactors to propel them. They weren't just war machines. Their immense size even allowed for unheard-of amenities like onboard swimming pools and saunas for their dedicated submarine crewmen.
A surreal touch within a vessel designed for ultimate destruction. These were truly floating fortresses, specifically engineered to operate and survive for extended periods beneath the crushing, frozen expanse of the Arctic ice. Even today, every major nuclear power state relies profoundly on its fleet of SSBNs. They remain silent, invisible, and perpetually on patrol, their shadowy existence subtly shaping the entire landscape of global security. These are weapons paradoxical in their nature, never intended to be fired, yet always unequivocally meant to be feared, their silent presence a constant, chilling reminder of the destructive power held in check.
Though never meant to be openly fired upon, their very presence is designed to invoke profound fear. These are the modern attack submarines, sleek predators of the deep.
While SSBNs stand as silent guardians of nuclear deterrence, the attack submarines, known as SSNs, are the relentless hunters of the abyssal plains. Propelled by the silent power of nuclear reactors, these formidable vessels possess the incredible ability to traverse the vast expanse of the globe entirely undetected, lurking beneath the waves.
They tirelessly stalk enemy submarines like phantom sharks,
Patiently shadowing formidable aircraft carriers and meticulously gathering invaluable intelligence from the most hostile waters. Their paramount mission is clear: to relentlessly deny any adversary control of the vital seas, safeguarding crucial maritime dominance. Then emerged a new breed of leviathans, the SSGSNs, or guided missile submarines.
These colossal vessels make a strategic trade, exchanging their ballistic nuclear payloads for a staggering arsenal of dozens, sometimes even hundreds, of precision-guided cruise missiles.
The United States Navy's converted Ohio-class submarines, for instance, are transformed into a floating deluge capable of unleashing a devastating barrage of Tomahawk missiles. These advanced projectiles can strike deep inland targets with chilling, surgical precision, making these submarines true mobile arsenals hidden beneath the waves. Other great naval powers have charted their own formidable courses in this undersea arms race. Britain proudly fields its stealthy Astute-class, while Russia commands the potent Akula and cutting-edge Yasin-class, both feared for their deep-sea prowess. France contributes the agile Barracuda, and China deploys its versatile Type 093. Each magnificent vessel meticulously engineered for unparalleled stealth, incredible endurance, and formidable versatility across a spectrum of missions. Yet modern attack submarines are no longer solely defined by their traditional torpedoes or missile tubes. Their capabilities have dramatically expanded. They now serve as covert platforms for launching elite special operations forces into contested territories, silently deploying an array of autonomous drones for reconnaissance or attack, and utilizing incredibly advanced sonar arrays to utterly dominate the complex, murky undersea domain. Looking ahead, the future promises even more revolutionary advancements: whisper-quiet propulsion systems that render them virtually undetectable, sophisticated autonomous undersea vehicles that extend their reach and senses, and perhaps even AI-assisted combat systems that will redefine underwater warfare. The very distinction between a conventional submarine and an expansive underwater mothership capable of managing entire fleets of unmanned vehicles is already rapidly blurring. From the rudimentary, fragile wooden barrels crafted in the 1600s to today's awe-inspiring nuclear-powered predators, submarines have fundamentally reshaped the very fabric of naval warfare.
Invisible, patient, and seemingly unstoppable, they perpetually remain the ultimate shadow, lurking in the profound depths of the ocean.
In the profound depths, patient and ever vigilant, these silent hunters have evolved. They are the ocean's ultimate shadow, an unstoppable force that continues to shape naval power with their unseen presence. Yet, as the curtain began to fall on one era of stealth, another dawn broke in the skies above. The final, brutal years of World War II unveiled an undeniable truth across the battlefields. The majestic, propeller-driven fighters, once kings of the air, had finally reached the absolute ceiling of their capabilities, signaling an urgent need for revolutionary change.